Alright, so I want to react to this today because, listen, I give Craig Carton credit. That last time we reacted to his video on his show, talking about us, he was positive. Well, as positive he could be. He wasn't happy with the situation that was happening, but he was actually somewhat positive. Which, if you've been following him or watching him on my channel, you know exactly how he usually talks. He usually is logical, he's just dumb, he just says whatever he wants, and he doesn't make any sense. Well, last time we reacted to him, he said, you know, the Bengals are back. Joe Burrow's back. So today, we have an interesting situation. He's talking about Sam Darnold starting for the San Francisco 49ers. And based on what I understand, Plaxico Burress, who is the third guy in on the right here, he apparently hates the 49ers, which I did not even know this. But apparently, like, he hates the 49ers. He played for the Giants, the Steelers, throughout his career, and the Jets. But apparently, he could not stand the 49ers. So whenever he talks about the 49ers, he absolutely rips them a new one. So, let's just go ahead and listen up to what he had to say, because we'll break down what he had to say after this, guys. So let's go ahead and get right into it.
Cincinnati's going to San Francisco. They lost 2 games in a row. Cincinnati's feeling like themselves again. And they are walking, I think, into a defensive buzzsaw.
I think Cincinnati goes on the road. They make a statement. They had a bye last week, so it allows Joe Burrow to get more healthy.
Yeah.
And Kyle Shanahan wants to dumb the offense down because Brock Purdy's not playing. It favors the Bengals defense.
Yeah, I'm all over.
I want to go ahead and cover that point real fast. I don't think he has to dumb down the offense in any way for Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has been on this team all year long. You know, he has practiced with it. There was a theory in the beginning of the year that he would be the starter because Brock Purdy wasn't ready. So he has practiced plenty with the number ones out there. I don't really think Sam Darnold is going to be the all-out problem here, that they're going to be like, oh, we can't run our offense because of Sam Darnold. I think the problem really is going to be no Trent Williams and no Deebo Samuels. I think that's going to be really the big issue. I think Sam Darnold will be, you know, listen, at the end of the day, you know, he's obviously not Brock Purdy, but I don't think there's that much of a difference between Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold where you're like, whoa, without Brock Purdy, you know, this game's going to be completely 49-0 type of game.
For San Francisco in this game. I think I think there's people in Cincinnati selling wolf tickets. I think that's all that's going on.
It ain't happening.
They are not losing 3 straight. And that Niners defense now has pride on the line.
Yes.
If they get embarrassed by Joe Burrow, as good as he is,
at home,
right, and in their own building, and the Bengals drop a 30 burger on them,
You've been wrong before.
There's such a long.
Ironically enough, Nick Bosa came out recently and they asked him about like his lack of sack production, how he felt about it. And it was pretty much like he's not bothered by it. He does not care that his sack production is not as high as, you know, it has been in the past. So ironically enough, I don't think that defense in any way is like, oh, we are, you know, absolutely upset and angry and want to just do great on defense. Don't get me wrong, they want to do great on defense because they want to be a great defense. And they are a great defense. But it's not really like they're like going into this game with a vendetta, thinking like this has to be the statement game where we show on defense that we're that good. They do truly believe they're that good. And again, like I'm not trying to say they're not. They are that good. But, so I don't really agree with this is like a game where, trust me, the 49ers do not want to lose 3 in a row. That's absolutely, you know, factual thing here, right? They lost 2 games versus the Vikings and the Browns, and, you know, this is a game where they really want to try to do stuff. The problem with this type of game for the 49ers side, right, is this is a type of game where you overthink yourself, right? And it's almost to a point where you could overthink yourself into a loss. Where, you know, going into this game, the Niners, yes, they know they need to win this game with everything, you know, happening recently. But they might think it, do some plays, pursue some plays, you know, throw some passes they probably shouldn't, try to get out to a quick start, and actually find themselves in the opposite of where they want to be, which is losing this game for that said reason. So there are ways, you know, especially when they always tell you, you know, one play at a time, right? Take one play at a time when you're losing, or when you're in a losing streak, just take one game at a time. the Niners aren't really in that strategy, I feel like, because they're thinking about the Super Bowl, right? They're still thinking about, okay, we're a Super Bowl team. We won the best teams in the NFL. We have to get back going. We have to get everything, settled. And this is the type of game where you lose because you just overthink yourself. So I will say overall wise, it is a statement win. If we go out there and win, obviously, yes, we play one of the best teams in the NFC. And even though, yes, they lost 2 games in a row, it does not matter. They are one of the best teams in the NFC. But we go out there and we beat one of the best teams in the NFC in our house. It is a statement win. Let's listen to the rest of this.
Long list of quarterbacks that Kyle Shanahan has made look good. When you talk about the Kirk Cousins, and then you get to Jimmy Garoppolo and Nick Mullen, and then, it's like, and he made Brock Purdy into Brock Purdy. If he can turn Sam Darnold into an effective NFL quarterback, he's the best coach.
I will say this. I hated Sam Darnold when he was my quarterback. And that whole thing with seeing ghosts and all that nonsense. To be fair to Sam Darnold, he is competent.
Yes.
He's not great.
Great word.
But he did a pretty good job in Carolina
It's
on
a
a bad team.
downgrade. Is it a downgrade or not from Purdy?
It is a downgrade from Brock Purdy. Yes, it is.
So how can this not favor the Bengals?
But it's not like you're bringing in a guy that's never played the NFL game before.
Yes, yeah.
I'm not saying you should expect him to go out there and the offense on all cylinders, ping, ping, ping,
They
ping.
brought in the guy that's never played the game before.
I'm telling you right now, Sam Darnold is not going to embarrass himself in this game. He's not. And I don't think the Bengals defense is good enough to embarrass him anyway. My concern is on the...
All right, there's Craig Carton's typical, I hate the Bengals, let me trash them on that situation. So let me break down what he just said. First off, I don't think Sam Darnold is really the quote-unquote reason why, he'll be successful in this game. The reason why he'll be successful in this game, as the other guys alluded to, was obviously Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan is going to give him, and I think it will be a dumbed-down playbook, and I think it will be a dumbed-down offense. But I think it will be a very basic offense that's not very difficult to mess up, and it will be a game plan of, okay, here's what we're going to do. We have 15 scripted plays, right? And start every game is 15 scripted plays. Outside of those first 15 scripted plays, which I believe will be a majority pass plays, I believe this will start the game off with a lot of pass plays. Might not be all the Christian McCaffrey, because they're going to try to set a tone. What they're going to do is they're going to say, this is what I want from you, Sam. You're going to have 3 reads on every play. You're going to have your left read, your middle read, your right read. Right? You're going to have your 1, 2, 3. If the pressure is coming in, go to read 1. If you have time, go to read 2. If you have extra time, go to read 3. It's going to be a very simplistic offense. This is going to make it so that, again, it's not overwhelming him, and he's going to make a mistake or, do something stupid. Because, listen, at the end of the day, a game like this you can get behind very quickly, if you do make crucial mistakes throughout this game. Now, to his second point there, that he's not going to embarrass himself, I don't think Kyle Shanahan is going to put Sam Darnold in a situation where he can embarrass himself. Because if, let's be honest, the Jets head coach, whoever, throughout the last couple years, they have never been on the level of Kyle Shanahan. They have never been. So they're not gonna, those head coaches are gonna put, Darnold in a situation where he kind of just, hey, listen, you're Sam Darnold. We need you to be great. We're gonna let you be great. We're gonna let you do anything you want. Kyle Shanahan's not gonna do that. Kyle Shanahan's gonna give him a very basic plan and say you have to do it A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Right? And that's the way they're going to win. The way they're going to try to win this game is going to be based on a very simplistic plan. They're not going to give him the keys to the car and say, go drive. They're going to give him the keys to the car, but it's going to be like a driving test where the driving instructor is on the right with a stop, right? So he's not going to embarrass himself. I agree with that, but it's because they're not going to let him embarrass himself, right? If anything, this game could be, if the Bengals defense is good enough, which 1,000% they are. I mean, I don't think you watched last week's game, Craig, if you want to say the Bengals defense is not good enough. Bengals defense is plenty good enough. The problem is the Bengals offense. That's the problem for this game, is the Bengals offense, not Bengals defense. Bengals defense could easily take care of business. The problem is the Bengals offense. And I will say that that's something we're going to see tested throughout this whole entire game. But if the Bengals defense starts getting pressure on Sam Darnold, My guess is Kyle Shanahan's going to tell, Darnold, throw the ball away. If you're under pressure and you're about to get sacked, just throw it away. I wouldn't be surprised if the final stat line of this game for Darnold is something like 7 for 27 with 150 yards. Like, I would not be surprised because he's going to tell him, hey, listen, Darnold, the worst thing we can do in this game is get sacked, fumble the ball, or throw in interceptions. So they're going to say, we're going to just play a very basic offense, throw the ball away if you're under pressure. If you feel like, you can't handle a play, just get the ball out of your hands, let the player another down, right? Because the last thing they want to do is give good field position for Money Mac to kick a field goal to win this, to score in this game, or, give the Bengals good field position in general. Because the way the Bengals are going to beat this 49ers team, if their offense is not enough to beat them themselves, is going to be, play field position, kick field goals, and beat them in that way and play defense. But if the Bengals offense gets going, that's when the situation kind of falls on itself, right? Because now if the Bengals offense is going in this game, we score points, the 49ers have to respond. And I don't know how they're going to go about that. Because again, like I said, I don't think this is a game that Sam Darnold can go in there and play a shootout. I don't think so. Now, I don't think we're going to have a shootout because their defense is that good. But I will say, based on what we have seen from the last couple games, is that when the 49ers defense, when you stop their pass rush, which is hard, but the Browns did it, the Vikings did it, they're really vulnerable. I mean, it's almost like Alabama football. When you stop that front seven, which is almost impossible, they don't really have it in the back end. They don't. And that's when, they usually get lit up. Because it's like, oh, wow, you can't get a pass rush to us. Well, now this happens. And that's why the whole talk right now is around Nick Bosa. It's like, hey, whoa, man, you haven't put up crazy stat numbers. What's going on? And he's like, hey, I'm not concerned. But that's why. Because when he puts up crazy stat numbers, yeah, their defense wins them games. They get them turnovers. They get them good field positions. Let's react to the rest of this.
Frisco side, what does that San Francisco defense do? It's time, right, to show up and tell the world that you are this great defense that we thought you were going to be. I like San Francisco, and I can't wait to watch this game on Sunday.
And I know he was going to go San Francisco. And again, like I said, this is not the most outlandish take of all time. I mean, San Francisco is a great team. But again, like I said, it really comes down to, the basic principle of how is this structure of this game going to go, right? The game flow, we're going to find out right away how this game's going to go. If the first couple of drives, if the Bengals can move the ball in offense, this game's over, Bengals win. That's pretty much that. Because I just don't think the 49ers offense is going to be able to keep up with us. But if our game starts off slow and our offense can't get going, and we're going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, this is going to then turn into a defensive field goal game. And I will say, overall-wise, if this does become that type of game, I think both of our defenses, in my opinion, are exactly the same. I think we're the same level. So it's going to be like a 6-9 type of game. And that, I will say, overall-wise, that's going to favor us. Because, I know it's great to say that. I think even with our problems on offense and our sad, pathetic offense at times, we are a better offense than they are an offense under Sam Darnold. I think that they have Christian McCaffrey, we have Jamar Chase. They have, George Kittle, we have T. Higgins. We obviously, yes, they have playmakers on offense, but at the same time, it's really what can they do with those playmakers? And that's the same thing with us, right? We're having the same issues that they're having is we have the playmakers, but what can we do? And our offense really comes down to, again, play calling, execution. Their offense is going to come down to the lack of quarterback play from Sam Darnold. So I don't think they're going to let him embarrass himself, but I think there's going to be a fine line throughout this game that we see that, it's like, okay, well, what can we let him do, And however this game flow goes, Shanahan's going to have to adjust and might give him more and more power and more, leeway room. But that, always comes with a cost. In life, you have a risk and you have a reward, right? Everything you do, you got to kind of convey this. Is it worth the risk for the reward? Is it worth the risk to open up the kingdom or open up the, the play call sheet to Sam Darnold? The reward is you win the game. the risk is Cam Taylor is high-stepping a touchdown. So there's always scenarios, right? But again, like I said, it's going to be a tough game. They're a great team. I'm not trash-talking them in any way. Not this team. I mean, this team, I just want to get this win. Do I think we're going to get this win? Absolutely, yes. I 100% think we're going to win this game this week. But I think it's going to be a tough game. And I think this is going to be a statement game. And I've said this, and I'll say it again. If we win this game this week, we're going to win the Super Bowl. And I know that's kind of crazy to say, crazy take to say. But listen, who in the NFC do we have to probably go through to win the Super Bowl? 49ers or the Eagles? That's really teams we're going to have to play in the Super Bowl. If that's the case, then yes, the rest of the AFC is tough, right? Don't get me wrong, Miami, Buffalo right now, like crap in the bed, it seems like. But Miami, obviously, they're going to be the team we have to beat. The Ravens, the Steelers right now are good. The Browns are good. You know, there's a lot of AFC teams good. But at the end of the day, when you really break it down, once you get to the playoffs, right, there is 3 games. Wildcard, divisional, championship. I know those are tough, games. You win 3 games, we're playing this team again. Or we're playing the Cowboys. Or we're playing, the Eagles. So at the end of the day, you win a game like this against a team that honestly I think has one of the best defenses in the NFL. Has one, offensively, when they're fully healthy, one of the best offenses in the NFL. You win a game like this, it's a statement win. It's a game that you say, wow. You kind of pick yourself back up from. You get the confidence to play the rest of the season, right? That's kind of how I look at it. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.